Good morning, everyone. So, since we started this book, we have covered two chapters. In that two chapters, we discussed a lot about the finding that why the first chapter, I think the first part, it has around three chapters. In that first chapter, we talk about the world that doesn't start with why, in that assumes, characteristics. These are the first part, and the second part, an alternative perspective. So it went too deep into that particular chapter. We discussed about the golden circle, what, how, and why, how it is importance, the why, and how it is extensive and extensive, how it is importance. Uh, then they talk about this is not an opinion, this is a biology. When we think about why it's important, how the things happening in our biology, in our brain, how it works, the neocortex brain and limbic brain. Then we yesterday we read about clarity, discipline, and consistency, how it is very clear about why we should be clear about why, and the discipline how, and consistent what. It make us to define the why part, make it very precise. That is what we have covered so far in the last five reading sessions. So today we are going into the sixth day of today's reading and moving into the new part, the part three, that leader needs a following. So I think in this chapter we talk about they covered in this chapter about the trust. The trust, I think trust happens with the beliefs, what we make people to believe, not that by giving that authority or giving the force element, whether it is the organization or the business or the individual. That should happen, that how we believe it, that is what we get stick to, that the why part. And we have to create such a great environment. That is we are going to cover in this new chapter, that is the chapter 6, which is start from the emergence of trust. I think the voice is not us, actually the emergence of trust. Okay, who would like to start today's reading? Anyone?
I will do
Yeah, please, over to you. You can start with to say that
yeah,
most.
part 3 and chapter 6. Part 3 is leaders need a following. Chapter 6 is the emergence of trust. To say that most of the company's employees were embarrassed to work there was an understatement. It was no secret that the employees felt mistreated, and if a company mistreats their people, just watch how the employees treat their customers. Mud rolls down a hill, and if you are the one standing at the bottom, you get hit with the full brunt. In a company that is usually the customer throughout the 1980s, this was life at Continental Airlines, the worst airline in the industry. I could see Continental's biggest problem the second I walked in the door in February of 1994. Gordon Bethune wrote in From Worst to First, the chief executive's first hand account of Continental's turnaround. It was a crummy place to work. Employees were to customers, surely to each other, surly to customers, surly to each other, and ashamed of their company. And you can't have a good product without people who like coming to work. It just can't be done, he recounts. Herb Kelleher, the head of Southwest for 20 years, was considered a heretic for positing the notion that it is a company's responsibility to look after the employees first. Happy employees ensure happy customers, he said, and happy customers ensure happy shareholders. In that order, fortunately, Bethune shared this heretical belief. Some would argue that The reason Continental's culture was so poisonous was that the company was struggling. They would tell you that it is hard for executives to focus on anything other than survival when a company is facing hard times. Once we get profitable again, the logic went, then we will take a look at everything else. And without a doubt, throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, Continental struggled. The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection twice in 8 years, once in 1983 and again in 1991, and managed to go through 10 CEOs in a decade. In 1994, the year Bethune took over as the newest CEO, the company had lost 600 million US dollar and ranked last in every measurable performance category. But all that did not last long once Bethune arrived. The very next year, Continental made 200 million US dollar and was soon ranked as one of the best companies to work for in America. And while Bethune made significant changes to improve the operations, the greatest gains were in performance category that is nearly impossible to measure trust. Trust does not emerge simply because a seller makes a rational case why the customer should buy a product or service or because an executive promises change. Trust is not a checklist. Fulfilling all your responsibilities does not create trust. Trust is a feeling, not a rational experience. We trust some people and companies even when things go wrong, and we don't trust others, even though everything might have gone exactly as it should have. A completed checklist does not guarantee trust. Trust begins to emerge when we have a sense that another person or organization is driven by things other than their own self gain. With trust comes a sense of value, real value, not just value equated with money. Value, by definition, is the transference of trust. You can't convince someone you have value just as you can't convince someone to trust you. You have to earn trust by communicating and demonstrating that you share the same values and beliefs. You have to talk about your why and prove it with what you do. Again, a why is just a belief. How are the actions we take to realize that belief? And what are the results of those actions when all the three are in balance? Trust is built and value is perceived. This is what Bethune was able to do. There are many talented executives with the ability to manage operations, but great leadership is not based solely on great operational ability. Leading is not the same as being the leader. Being the leader means you hold the highest rank either by earning it, good fortune, or navigating internal politics. Leading, however, means that others willingly follow you, not because they have to, not because they are paid to, but because they want to. Frank Lorenzo, CEO before Bethune, may have been the leader of Continental, but Gordon Bethune knew how to lead the company. Those who lead are able to do so because those who follow trust that the decisions made at the top have the best interest of the group at heart. In turn, those who trust work hard because they feel like they are working for something bigger than themselves. Prior to Bethune's arrival, the 20th floor of the company's headquarters The executive floor was off limits to most people. The executive suites were locked. Only those with a rank of senior vice president or higher were permitted to visit. Key cards were required to get onto the floor. Security cameras were ubiquitous, and armed guards roamed the floor to eliminate any doubt that the security was no joke. Clearly, the company suffered from trust issues. One story handed down was that Frank Lorenzo would not even drink a soda on a continental plane if he did not open the can himself. He did not trust anyone, so it is no great leap of the logic that no one trusted him. It is hard to lead when those whom you are supposed to be leading are not inclined to follow. Bethune was very different. He understood that beyond the structure and systems, a company is nothing more than a collection of people. You don't lie to your own doctor, he says, and you can't lie to your own employees. Bethune set out to change the culture by giving everyone something they could believe in. And what specifically did he give them to believe in that could turn the worst airline in the industry into the best airline in the industry with all the same people and all the same equipment? In college, I had a roommate named Howard Jeruchimonowitz, now an attorney in Chicago. Howard learned from an early age about a very simple human desire. Growing up in the suburbs of New York City, he played outfield on the worst team in the Little League. They lost nearly every game they played, and not by small margins either. They were regularly annihilated. Their coach was a good man and wanted to instill a positive attitude in the young athletes. After one of their more embarrassing losses, the coach pulled the team together and reminded them it does not matter who wins or loses. What matters is how you play the game. It was at this point that young Howard raised his hand and asked, then why do we keep score? Howard understood from a very young age the very human desire to win. No one likes to lose, and most healthy people live their life to win. The only variation is the score we use. For some, it is a money. For others, it is a fame or awards. For some, it is power, love, a family, or spiritual fulfillment. The metric is relative, but the desire is the same. A billionaire does not need to work. Money becomes a way to keep score, a relative account of how things are going. Even a billionaire who loses millions due to poor decisions can get depressed, although the money may have zero impact on his lifestyle. No one likes to lose. Whether someone else would like to read?
Yes, I may.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Those who
From
want to
here,
lead,
the drive
please
to
put
win
your
is
name.
not.
Those who want to lead next, please put your name on the chat section so that we can warmly hand over to the next person. Thank you. Suman, please you continue.
Yeah. The drive to win is not per se a bad thing. Problem arise, however, when the metric becomes the only measure of success. When what you achieve is no longer tied to why you set out to achieve it in the first place. Bethune set out to prove to everyone at Continental that if they wanted to win, they could win. And most of the employees stuck around to find out if he was right. There were few exceptions. One executive who once held up a plane because he was running late was asked to leave, as were 39 more of the top 60 executives who did not believe, no matter how experienced they were or what they brought to the table, they were asked to leave if they were not team players and were not able to adapt to the new culture that Bithune was trying to build. There was no room for those who did not believe in the new continental. Bethune knew that building a team to go out and win meant more than giving a few raha speeches and bonuses for the top brass if they hit certain revenue targets. He knew that if he wanted to build a real, lasting success, people had to win not for him, not for the shareholders, and not even for the customer. For the success to last, the employees of Continental had to want to win for themselves. Everything he talked about was in terms of how it benefited the employees. Instead of telling them to keep the planes clean for customers, he pointed out something more obvious. Every day they came to work on a plane. The passenger left after their flight, but many of the flight attendants had to stay on for at least one more trip. It is just nicer to come to work when the environment is cleaner. Scroll up, please. Yes, scroll up, please.
Yeah, just scroll. I think there is some problem with the scroll.
Hmm.
1 minute. Uh, can you see my screen? I have scrolled up and also highlighted. Maybe some due to network glitch.
Yes, now it's visible.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's
Bethune
start from
also
this one.
got rid of all the security on the 20th floor. He instituted an open door policy and made himself incredibly accessible. It was common for him to show up and sling bags with some of the baggage handlers at the airport. From now on, this was a family and everyone had to work together. Bethune focused on the things they knew to be important. And to an airline, the most important thing is to get the planes running on time. In the early 1990s, before Bethune arrived, Continental had the lowest on time rating of the nation's 10 largest airlines. So, Bethune had told employees that each month Continental's on time percentage ranked in the top 5. Every employee would receive a check for $65. When you consider that Continental had 40,000 employees in 1995, every on time month cost the airline a whopping $2.5 million. But Bithune knew he was getting a deal. Being chronically late was costing it $5 million a month in expenses like missed connections and putting passengers up overnight. But most important to Bithune was what the bonus program did for the company culture. It got tens of thousands of employees, including managers, all pointed in the same direction for the first time in years. Gone were the days when only the brass would enjoy the benefits of success. Everyone got their $65 when the airline did well, and no one got it when the airline missed its targets. Bithune even insisted that a separate check be sent out. It was not just added to their salary check. This was different. This was a symbol of winning. And on every check, a message reminded them why they came to work. Thank you for helping make Continental one of the best. We measured things the employees could truly control, Bithune said. We made the stakes something the employees would win or lose on together, not separately. Yes, scroll please.
I think there is some network issue with Rajesh.
Yeah.
Oh, he disconnected. Oh, hi Rajesh. Are you experiencing some network issue or something?
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, you can start from everything they did. Sorry, I think that I'm facing some network problem.
Yeah, yeah, no
I've been
problem.
scrolling up, scrolling down, but yeah, please proceed with
Okay, okay.
everything.
Yeah. Everything they did made people feel like they were in it together. And they were. Next topic is the only difference between you and a caveman is the car you drive. The reason the human race has been so successful is not because we are the strongest animals. Far from it. Size and might alone do not guarantee success. We have succeeded as a species because of our ability to form cultures.
Yes.
Cultures are group of people who come together around a common set of values and beliefs. When we share values and beliefs with others, we form trust. Trust of others allows us to rely on others to help protect our children and ensure our personal survival. The ability to leave the den to hunt or explore with confidence that the community will protect your family and your stuff until you return is one of the most important factors in the survival of an individual and the advancement of our species. That we trust people with common values and beliefs is not in itself a profound assertion. There is a reason. We are not friends with everyone we meet. We are friends with people who see the world the way we see it, who share our views and our belief set. No matter how good a match someone looks on paper, that does not guarantee a friendship. You can think of it on a macro scale also. The world is filled with different cultures. Being American is not better than being French. They are just different cultures, not better or worse, just different. American culture strongly values ideals of entrepreneurship, independence, and self reliance. We call our why the American dream. French culture strongly values ideals of unified identity, group reliance, and joie de vivre. Notice that we use the French word to describe the joy of life lifestyle. Coincidence? Perhaps. Some people are good fits in the French culture, and some people are good fits in American culture. It is not a matter of better or worse, they are just different. Most people who are born and raised in one culture will, for obvious reasons, end up being a reasonably good fit in that culture, but not always. There are people who grew up in France who never quite felt like they belonged. They were misfits in their own culture. So they moved, maybe to America, drawn to the feelings they had for America's why. They followed the American dream and emigrated. It is always said that America is fueled in large part by immigrants. But it is completely false that all immigrants make productive members of a society. It is not true that all immigrants have an entrepreneurial spirit, just the ones that are viscerally drawn to America. That is what a why does. When it is clearly understood, scroll up please.
Rajesh, uh, you want me to share the screen or something? Oh, he's okay. I think let me let me try to share the screen. I think he's experiencing some major network issue today.
Yes, yes.
Uh, Rajesh, you want me to share the screen?
Sorry, again, I'm facing network problem. We can continue in case if we will face again, then I may need your help to share the screen.
Yeah, I can do that if you want. Like,
Let-
It is always said that America is fueled in large parts by immigrants, but it is completely false that all immigrants make productive members of a society. It's not true that all immigrants have an entrepreneurial spirit, just the ones that are viscerally drawn to America. That is what a why does. When it is clearly understood, it attracts people who believe the same thing. And assuming they are good fits for what Americans believe and how they do things, those immigrants will say of America, I love it here, or I love this country. Yeah, Mansi, you please share the screen. Again, it's gone.
okay, okay, yeah. Just help me with the page number. Huh? So, yeah, which pages are we on? This is all done now, I
Yes, yes.
guess.
Hmm. Part 3, first of all, you come to part 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure which part I'm on. Just give me a moment. Oh, yeah.
Part 3, chapter 6, yes.
Which page?
Yeah, go on. Hmm.
This page? Yeah, we
Let
read
me see.
this. Yeah, this American part.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Can you make the font little bit bigger?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, where you want to start? I forgot. Now. And just give me a minute. I'll just go myself on mute. Which part? Just tell me where I have to scroll from.
Hmm.
Page number 105.
This we have read. It is always said that, yeah, from this paragraph, the same can be said for.
Okay, okay. Just give me a minute, huh? Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, should I start? The same can be said for any place that has a strong culture or recognizable personality. We do better in cultures in which we are good fits. We do better in places that reflect our own values and beliefs. Just as the goal is not to do business with anyone who simply wants what you have, but to do business with people who believe what you believe. So too, is it beneficial to live and work in a place where you will naturally thrive because your values and beliefs align with the values and belief of that culture? Now consider what a company is. A company is a culture, a group of people brought together around a common set of values and beliefs. It is not products or services that bind a company together. It is not size and might that make a company strong. It is the culture, the strong sense of beliefs and values that everyone from the CEO to the receptionists all share. So the logic follows. The goal is not to hire people who simply have a skill set you need. The goal is to hire people who believe what you believe. Next is finding the people who believe what you believe. Early in the 20th century, the English adventurer Ernest Shackleton set out to explore the Antarctic. Roald Amundsen, a Norwegian, had only just become the first explorer ever to reach the South Pole, leaving one remaining conquest, the crossing of the continent via the southernmost tip of the earth. The land part of the expedition would start at the frigid Weddell Sea below South America and travel 1,700 miles across the pole to the Ross Sea below New Zealand. The cost Shackleton estimated at the time would be about $250,000. The crossing of the South Polar Continent will be the biggest polar journey ever attempted. Shackleton told a reporter for the New York Times on December 29, 1913, the unknown fields in the world, which are still unconquered, are narrowing down, but there still remains this great work. On December 5, 1914, Shackleton and a crew of 27 men set out for the Weddell Sea on the Endurance, a 350-ton ship that had been constructed with funds from private donors, the British government, and the Royal Geographical Society. By then, World War I was raging in Europe, and money was growing more scarce. Donations from English school children paid for the dog teams, but the crew of the Endurance would never reach the continent of Antarctica. Just a few days out of South Georgia Island in the southern Atlantic, the ship encountered mile after mile of pack ice and was soon trapped as winter moved in early and with fury. Ice closed in around the ship like an almond in a piece of toffee. A crew member wrote, Shackleton and his crew were stranded in the Antarctic for 10 months as the Endurance drifted slowly north until the pressure of the ice floes finally crushed the ship. On November 21, 1915, the crew watched as she sank in the frigid waters of the Weddell Sea. Stranded on the ice, the crew of the Endurance boarded their 3 lifeboats and landed on tiny Elephant Island. There, Shackleton left behind all but 5 of his men and embarked on a hazardous journey across 800 miles of rough seas to find help, which eventually they did. What makes the story of the Endurance so remarkable, however, is not the expedition. It is that throughout the whole ordeal, no one died. There were no stories of people eating others and no mutiny. This was not luck. This was because Shackleton hired good fits. He found the right man for the job. When you fill an organization with good fits, Those who believe what you believe. Success just happens. And how did Shackleton find this amazing crew? With a simple ad in the London Times. Compare that to how we hire people. Like Shackleton, we run ads in the newspaper or on the modern equivalents, Craigslist or Monster.com. Sometimes we hire a recruiter to find someone for us, but the process is largely the same. We provide a list of qualifications for the job and expect that the best candidate will be the one who meets those requirements. The issue is how we write those ads. They are all about what and not about why. A want ad might say, for example, account executive needed minimum 5 years experience, must have working knowledge of industry. Come work for a fantastic, fast growing company with a great pay and great benefits. The ad may produce loads of applicants, but how do we know which is the right fit? Shackleton's ad for crew members was different. His did not say what he was looking for. His ad did not say "man needed for expedition, minimum 5 years experience, must know how to hoist mainsail, come work for a fantastic captain." Rather, Shackleton was looking for those with something more. He was looking for a crew that belonged on such an expedition. His actual ad ran like this: men wanted for hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success. The only people who applied for the job were those who read the ad and thought it sounded great. They loved insurmountable odds. The only people who applied for the job were survivors. Shackleton hired only people who believed what he believed. Their ability to survive was guaranteed. When employees belong, they will guarantee your success and they won't be working hard and looking for innovative solutions for you. They will be doing it for themselves. What all great leaders have in common is the ability to find good fits to join their organization. Those who believe what they believe. Southwest, Southwest Airlines is a great example of a company with a knack for hiring good fits. Their ability to find people who embody their cause makes it much easier for them to provide great service. As Herb Kelleher famously said, you don't hire for skills, you hire for attitude. You can always teach skills. This is all fine and good. The problem is which attitude. What if their attitude is not one that fits your culture? I love asking companies whom they like to hire, and one of the most common answer I am given is we hire only passionate people. But how do you know if someone is passionate for interviewing but not so passionate for working? The truth is, almost every person on the planet is passionate. We are just not all the passionate for the same things. Starting with why, when hiring dramatically increases your ability to attract those who are passionate for what you believe. Simply hiring people with a solid resume or great work ethic doesn't guarantee success. The best engineer at Apple, for example, would likely be miserable if he worked at Microsoft. Likewise, the best engineer at Microsoft would probably not thrive at Apple. Both are highly experienced and work hard. Both may come highly recommended. However, each engineer does not fit the culture of the other's company. The goal is to hire those who are passionate for your why, your purpose, cause, or belief, and who have the attitude that fits your culture. Once that is established, only then should their skill set and experience be evaluated. Shackleton could have had the most experienced crew money could buy, but if there were if they were not able to connect on a level much deeper than their ability, their survival would not have been a foregone conclusion. For years, Southwest did not have a complaints department. They did not need one, though Kelleher rightly talked about the need to hire for attitude. The airline, in fact, deserves more credit for hiring the good fits responsible for providing great service. Kelleher was not the only one making the hiring decisions, and asking everyone to simply trust their gut is too risky. Their genius came from figuring out why some people were such good fits and then developing systems to find more of them. In the 1970s, Southwest Airlines decided to put their flight attendants in hot pants and go-go boots as part of their uniforms. Hey, it was the 1970s. It was not their idea. Pacific Southwest, the California-based airline after which Southwest modeled itself, did it first. Southwest simply copied them. Unlike Pacific Southwest, however, Southwest figured out something that would prove invaluable. They realized that when they recruited flight attendants, the only people who applied for the job were cheerleaders and majorettes. That's because they were the only people who did not mind wearing the new uniforms. Cheerleaders and majorettes, however, fit in perfectly at Southwest. They did not just have a great attitude, their whole disposition was about cheering people on, spreading optimism, leading crowds to believe that we can win. They were perfect fits at a company that was the champion of the common man. Realizing this, Southwest started to recruit only cheerleaders and majorettes. Great companies don't hire skilled people and motivate them. They hire already motivated people and inspire them. People are either motivated or they are not. Unless you give motivated people something to believe in, something bigger than their job to work toward, they will motivate themselves to find a new job and you will be stuck with whoever is left. Yes,
Okay.
should
Thank you, Suman. No. We can complete reading for today because this will go another 20 pages for completing this chapter.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's end for today's reading. Thank you, Mansi, for pitching in and sharing your screen when needed. I'm in my hometown. I have some problem with network. I'm not in Wi-Fi. I'm using my mobile network, and also it has not a good network coverage. Yeah. Thank you, team, for the great reading. And today we read very important chapter of this book today. Anyone want to share your thoughts or your sharings about today's reading?
Yeah, Rajesh, can I go ahead?
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
I think this chapter is very, very important for success of any activity, business, profession, vocation. And I think what this chapter brings out, like in the beginning, how the Continental, which was loss making, turned into profit making just by giving everyone a passion, everyone a trust that you put your best in the organization. And this is what I learned, because in between I was not there. So a great learning and a great thing to be implemented in whatever activity which we are doing, and we are dealing with our subordinates people. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Rajkumar sir, for your sharing about today's leading. Yes, the trust is very important in any factor. I think you rightly said, not only in business, it is applies in the relationship for the family and wherever you are connecting with. I think if you are going to meet, giving a task to someone, we have to trust them. Okay, the person will be completing the work. Instead of that, if we are looking into that, taking authority and checking, cross-checking every then and there. Even when we are working in a profession, people like to people those who are giving trusting us. Just imagine if it's a micromanagement, if someone doing is a micromanagement, what he does, what time he comes in office, and what times he takes break, everything is monitored by somebody. Would you feel that? I think do you want to work in that particular place? But when we, the same time, when we get freedom, and if the organizations, the leader trusts us, do whatever you want, but complete the work. So that will motivate us. Okay, because of the person trusting us, I have to do my work better way. I have to complete my task on time. We take owning that. I think we are not just doing the work, but we are owning it particular task and taking necessary action to complete it. That starts from that the trust. That is what we have read today's chapter. I think the how a leader, the loss making company, how he made the profit making company by trusting their employees, making the employees to believe that they are working for the company and they have to bring the values. It was a nice one. Anybody else wants to share, please?
Yeah, I just I want to add, like I love the chapter. I think this is very important chapter from any leader's perspective to learn from. So so for me, the takeaway today was that the line where it said that trust is earned and beliefs are perceived. So that was a key takeaway, and also the importance of culture. So how different, so the difference they showed about how a person, how an employee may be connected with Microsoft culture, and someone might be connected with the Apple culture, but it could be the other way around also. So this was a big thing for me. So I realized that maybe it's very important for any leader or any employee or any person, like for any organization who's leading any in a leadership position, to create that culture is very very important, is what I learned today from our reading of today. So that was my key takeaway. So the importance of culture and how to bring about the right people and to build that culture also is very very important. Otherwise, that's what I feel could result in the downfall of that organization if a right culture is not established among all the employees, and that's what happens also. I feel, yeah, that's what I just realized. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Mansi. I think you have rightly put it across. The culture difference a lot. Maybe I think one point of time we are all working for, I think people working for money and go higher pay. But when we have a great culture, when we get a great experience, the company has a great culture and values, that will motivate them to give more contribution to the company or the work whatever we do. Thank you so much for sharing this important point. Anyone want to share your experience, please?
Yeah.
Yes, Vidya.
Uh,
Yeah. Go ahead. Somebody else was
yeah,
saying
yeah.
something.
Please, you say first. Yeah.
Yeah, so my personal experience with Southwest and Continental, basically these are all like low budget airlines, but they would want to make the experience something that you will remember. So in Southwest, all the flight attendants, this was of course when I was traveling at that time, all the flight attendants were in shorts, meaning they were not like typical like looking the executive with a tie and properly neatly decked out. They were all looking very very casual, but their attitude was so they were like so much full of uh, like good cheer. They were like cracking jokes. They didn't have too many things to distribute. They didn't have even tea or coffee or anything. At that time, most airlines used to serve something, but the only thing that Southwest used to serve was peanuts and water. So this was like they would give you, if they give you one packet of peanuts and then you may start immediately opening it, they'll say, "Oh, since you seem to be hungry, I'll give you another packet." So they'll just give you, with such a sense of generosity and cheer that people used to really like talking and interacting with the flight attendants. And that was like something. It was more like you're talking to a friend who is very funny. That kind of an attitude they had. And the same thing with Continental also, that they were not that much into trying to impress everybody with all the things that they are providing, as much as making sure that the flight is starting on time, flight is landing on time, and the, uh, you are having a good experience. So it was just a different kind of way that they were trying to attract people, not through giving them things on the flight, but just giving them a good experience. So that is, I felt, was very especially Southwest. It was so much fun to travel by Southwest. The passengers used to keep laughing because the flight attendants used to keep cracking jokes. And that was what I felt is like, sometimes you don't have everything with you, you don't have all the money in the world, but your attitude definitely is infectious, and that matters in, and that can convince people to come to your way of doing things. And regarding Shackleton, the book that I don't know if we have read that book, Endurance, but that is about Shackleton and how he actually was able to keep his the spirits of his team when they were in the Antarctic, and it was like the weather was cold and they didn't really have too many things around them. There was no certainty about whether when they will return home, and how he kept the team spirit alive, how he made sure that people used to play football or something in that cold weather, and make sure that there is team building happening in spite of all the challenges that they were having. So again, that was like true leadership in the face of so many odds. So all good examples that he has provided, and he has actually said the reason or the why was very clear for all the leaders. What is it and why they need to attract the right kind of people who will inspire trust, who have the same belief that you do. So very interesting and very well read. I thought that today's reading was very interesting, the way it was read. Whoever was reading first, and then Suman, your style of reading was excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Vidya. I think I great to know that whatever we are reading today, we have someone who had experienced. I think that makes more value. You are sharing your real experience here. That really makes more impact. So whatever we are just reading it, but you have already experienced. Thank you so much. I think as you rightly said, the leadership and the great values make wonders wherever it is. I think when we a great leadership that can make from nowhere to somewhere or the great heights. And if you don't have the great leadership and the great value to the companies, it will bring it down. Even though if they have all facilities in the world, all monies in the world, but it will make it bring it down. This is a great lesson for us. This is not only for the organization. As an individual, also we should have a great leadership and great values. So that will keep us even. I think it will not break us when we face some challenges. It won't break us. When we have a great values and great morals, we will have a courage to overcome at any situations. That's the one big takeaway from today's reading. Anyone else want to share? People who would have something. You may have something to share. Those who not shared anything, please share it and take for 2 minutes to share your opinions. Yes,
Yeah,
Suman.
Vidya has explained very beautifully the points I wanted to say. And one more line that I liked in this chapter was some example given that when mud falls from the hill, the bottom is affected the most. So here in companies, that is the customer. So, first of all, the organizations they need not work only to earn profits. Other things also matter. That right kind of employees you are selecting, like how they appointed the cheerleaders. And Shackleton's example was also that Vidya ji has already given that right if the company gets the right people, then the later course becomes very easy. What you want. Yeah, that's I wanted to say.
Yeah, thanks, Suman. Thank you so much. Not only you read nicely today, people like you are the way the way you read. Uh,
Thank you.
we
Thank
all
you
are
so much.
enjoying your reading. Thanks for your
Yeah,
sharing
it's
as
my
well.
pleasure. It's my pleasure, really.
Yeah, you are doing really great. Thanks. Anyone? My humble request to everyone, please you don't wait for 7:05, 7:10. Please try to join a little early if it is possible, 2 minutes early if you're joining. We can start reading out at sharp 7 because I think that is my one humble request to everyone. Don't wait for 7:05. If we start at 7 o'clock, we can read a little more and we can also share it. My concern is I want to end the meeting or end the session at 8 o'clock, 7 to 8, not to take more. People have some other commitments and something else. I don't want to stop. And sometimes I don't want to leave the session because of the thing we will have a very interesting sharings. I don't want to miss it, but that may affect something, whatever the other commitments. So please you join at 7, then let's end the session at 8 o'clock. Okay, the last I'm asking anyone want to share your thoughts about today's reading?
Yeah, I want to share quickly. Good morning.
Yeah,
See,
good morning.
actually, when the author mentioned about trust and belief, whatever we do and whatever we achieve in life is based on the belief that we carry, and we need to have that strong trust in that belief, because otherwise, what happen is that uh, the Southwest Airlines, the Southwest airline has a belief system that this is what they want to deliver to the customer, a great experience. Okay, money is important to run any business. That's acceptable. That's fine. But if you're delivering a customer a world class experience, it's just like like an extended family. Like when you hire people in the Southwest Airlines, they make sure that the company goal is aligned with the profile of the person. That this is what we are expecting from you. So basically, the company had a strong belief system on their value of how they value the customer, and based on that, the company made sure that they had that complete trust in that belief system. How they deal with the customer, how they believe with their actions, their attitude, and so many things like that. So I think one should have a strong, whether it is business or any other area. I think a strong belief system, and you have to fully trust that belief. So trust and belief, they go hand in hand, right? So first you need to have your own value system, have that complete belief in that value system, and trust that process, because it's just like being disciplined and consistent on a daily basis. And I think that's what the Southwest Airlines believes in, and how they are serving the customer, and the customer are having a great experience. So I think the trust and belief, they are like highly important in any area of life. And all the people who are aligned with that value system, I think they do a great work. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Manishji. Yeah, the great belief system is making very important any company and their values. Thank you, everyone. Now it's time. It's going to be 8 to 9. That's it for today's reading. And please you join tomorrow morning at 6:58 59 so that we can start our reading at 7 o'clock sharp. And I also inform you that this Thursday and Friday, let's take a small break. I think it's as we are in this festival season going on, and even I have some other commitments. Let's take a small break at this Thursday and Friday, and then we can continue. We will join tomorrow, continue that, and then take a small break on Thursday, Friday, and then continue further on next Monday onwards. My apologies. I think those who want to continue it, you want to continue, but for my request to you all, let's take a small break as this is a festival season. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Rajesh, for conducting the sessions in spite of all the odds and being in your hometown and all of that. It really means a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. You're taking the notes, Rajesh, na?
Yeah. I
Yes.
take it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Mansi. I'm in the session. I have taken notes. I will send it later.
Sure. Yeah. I can leave then, na? You don't want me to
Yeah.
do anything.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.